On today's episode of Political Personalities with Skye, we are meeting with New York City's #1 lobbyist, Suri Kasirer, and some of her clients to hear how she's been able to help them accomplish their goals when navigating the bureaucracy of New York City. Tell us how you got started. How did you start your own firm and become the queen that you are?
You're so sweet. So I always wanted to be an advocate my whole life since I was a little kid. I love fighting for things. I love fighting for people. I love thinking about the strategy of getting to yes. I love thinking about how to engage stakeholders, how to think about how to position something and how to message it, how to talk about things in ways that are really about something that's much bigger and that is really good for New York.
Welcome to Summit.
It's part of doing business. It's not an option. If you want to be a builder and if you want to be embedded in the fabric of New York City, you've got to work with all the stakeholders, all the constituencies, and a multitude of people that are changing every year. It's impossible without a big team. And at the forefront of that team is your lobbying team, who's got all the community connections, all the political connections, knows everybody, is working that crowd day in and day out, and it is something that is, I would just call it, essential for people like us who do the business we do to get these jobs done.
This is such an exciting example of the best of New York, of what somebody with a vision really could make happen in New York. And there's so many people that are afraid. They're thinking, New York is such a hard place to do business. How are you going to get things done? It's such a bureaucracy. And you really need someone like Mark who had that vision and said, I'm not going to let anything stop me.
It should be, but then if you just tilt your head about 10 degrees and look at the ceiling, you see a complete inverted upside down view of the city. So in one shot, you get both upside down and the right side up.
So opening an office building literally right next to Grand Central required us to deal with the Landmarks Commission because Grand Central is a landmark. So the preservationists, we had to meet with all kinds of preservation organizations, show them the design, make changes because they had certain concerns that they raised that related to being so close to a landmark. We also created this public plaza, so we closed all of this off and made this a public plaza, which was a gift as part of this whole project.
Certainly, as you just pointed out, handles government relations for a variety of people and industries in the city. And so we've been working together for almost 4 years at this point and navigating changes in government that happen constantly, laws, regs, as well as our own industry that keeps changing.
VJ really has been a hero during this pandemic. The hotels really were in deep trouble. Workers were out of work, hotels were completely shut, and I think VJ's leadership for the industry, but for New York City, was so incredibly important. And many of these organizations we have represented from the very beginning. You'll hear about City Meals. I'm on the board of City Meals, I'm vice president, but I've represented the organization for almost 20 years.
City Meals on Wheels feeds 20,000 older New Yorkers. We partner with the city to make sure homebound elderly have food every day of the year. And while we partner with the city, we also recognize that there's a need for change in policy, that administrations and staff change, and we really need to leverage the Kasirer team to help us meet with people, talk to people, tell the City Meals story, and really talk about the older population and the needs they have. City Meals is feeding over 20,000 older New Yorkers in every borough of the city. We have our warehouse, our emergency meal distribution center in the Bronx, where we have shelf-stable meals, food that can sit on the shelf when it's needed, particularly during emergency situations, as we saw with COVID.
As long as we believe in what someone's trying to achieve, and somebody's an honest, honorable person, I think, and we think that they have a case, I think we don't want to take on or take people's money if we don't think we can help them really achieve what they want to achieve.